We are live. All right, we are now live on YouTube.
Oh my gosh.
And to the hundreds of thousands of people watching overseas, we'd like to say welcome. Thank you for your service.
Definitely.
Yes.
All right, so is everybody at the top of the show notes ready to go?
Yes,
sir.
We always have to say that because Eludra's never at the top of the document. Every single time.
Wait.
Yeah, see, that's where I actually get very lucky. Since she hosts the show, she has to be. So it totally works for me.
Okay. So this is where I would insert the opening theme, which I can't play for you guys. You can tune in later and listen to it if you'd like to. And then I'll pick up from there. So in 5,
Have
4,
you tweeted out that we're live yet?
3. No, I've tweeted that we're going live soon, but I have not tweeted that we're live. Would you like me to do so? That's an excellent idea. If I can figure out on my browser windows. There we go. Twitter.
Sorry to interrupt the process.
No, hey, I appreciate the wealth and depth of your knowledge and experience. Please, any ideas to make this better? Shout, throw shoes, something.
I don't want to throw a shoe at my camera.
That would be.
It is
really
only a $20
awesome.
camera, sir. I'm sure I can replace it.
That's true. I wish I still had the box. I think I might take it back to Fry's at this point.
I love my little Logitech that I've got here. And I'll probably relatively soon replace it with a Microsoft Life cam.
I've got a Logitech cam of some sort. I can't tell you what this is, but it works. Seems to work.
I'm using a Logitech.
The Microsoft Life cams do HD. Not that you really want to see me in HD.
But
Yeah, but they also
to
record your
defer
entire
to
life.
Okay, now I've lost the show notes. There's the show notes. There's the hangout room. We are good. All right, now we're going to go in 5, 4, 3, 2. Greetings, heroes. Welcome to Prepare for Combat episode number 10 for May 13th, 2014. Try that again. Greetings, heroes. Welcome to Prepare for Combat episode number 10 for May 13th, 2014. Broadcasting from Central Alabama, this is AcuZod. Joining me from Arizona, a land that doesn't know the meaning of daylight savings time, is Alachaas.
This is Alachaas. And really, what time is it?
We never know over there.
Yeah, I know what time it is. It's time for combat.
There you go. Now, Jasmine is off on special assignment this week. Follow her Twitter feed if you want to know more. So filling in from the Island of Conclusions, where of course you have to jump to get to, we have Ben. Ben, greetings.
Hi, I'm also in Arizona, and all I know is that it's never snow o'clock.
That's true. And finally, also jumping in at the very last minute, seconds ago, is the singular entity known as Ro. Ro, welcome.
We are Ro. Your podcasting distinctiveness will be assimilated into our own. Resistance is futile.
If you don't know who Ro is, you don't actually listen to podcasts, trust me. Because Ro is the center of the podcast universe.
Oh,
We all
please.
just orbit around
The
him.
mayor of Podcastville.
There we go.
All right, guys, so,
How's it going? Thanks for having me on the show.
no,
Before
thank
you
you
can
guys for
actually-
jumping in.
Before you can actually do a podcast, you have to get it approved through Row.
You do.
You have to sign
check with
forms
Ro.
of triplicate, I hear.
We keep the goldenrod one, right? That's the one we get to keep. Goldenrod.
Right.
Or did I take the wrong form? Crap! I thought I took the wrong form. This is not good.
All right. Now, one of the other cool things about Ben and Ro is that they not only do they do, I don't know how many podcasts you guys do now, 10, 15 each?
7,
Every day,
8.
something like that. But they also play Heroes of the Storm. They are lucky enough to be in the alpha, and Alachaas and I were lucky enough to join them last weekend for a few rounds. We want to talk about just how awesome we are as a team.
It was glorious.
Oh man, the XP points that people got off of us was absolutely amazing.
And I mean, considering we were playing on the weekend too, you were getting your victory bonus, you got your weekend bonus, and based on the games that we were playing, I'm pretty sure that those guys were playing with friends too. So yeah, they must have gotten like 300,000 points a game. I don't know.
All I know is that the bots must have leveled a couple times at least, just on those matches alone.
Yeah, I gotta ask about that. What is up with that co-op bot AI thing? Those guys are tough.
Well, we did win one of them.
Yeah, we won one. We got one under our belt, folks. That's right.
That was amazing. I must say, it's a fun game to play, and it's even more fun with friends. Even when you're losing, it's still hilarious.
Losing is fine when you're losing with friends who are also losing.
Yes.
And you can laugh about it and drink about it. I didn't drink about it, but I did laugh.
Yeah, I think the rest of us were drinking at least. I know I was.
Oh man,
Chugging that water.
every round.
Slowly, the water turned into whiskey as the night progressed. I think what happened.
So if you're looking for some quick experience points for winning games, you want to find us and play against us because we will level you quickly.
Absolutely.
All right. Yes.
All right. With that, let's jump into this week's news. And I heard everybody's phones go off at the same time. That was really pretty impressive. Okay, that is where I will insert the news bumper right there. So, first of all, being on Tuesday, we record every Tuesday. This is patch day. Now, I didn't see any patch notes of any changes in the game, although they did put out the free hero rotation for this week. And this week, the free characters are Elite Tauren Chieftain, Moradin, Tassadar, Witch Doctor, Zeratul, and if you hit level 7, you also get Arthas. And for the first time, they're now making Raynor a permanent free hero. And apparently they want to do that because they want people to feel comfortable coming out of all the training sessions, which are all, we play Raynor the entire time, and start playing real games with a character that you've already known and played. You're not totally from scratch. So for you guys, which of those characters are you excited to play this week?
For me, personally, while I've been mostly playing support, and when I'm not playing support, I'm playing specialist, I feel that I will give the warrior role a shot for the first time playing Arthas.
He is good to play.
So, Alachaas, who's your pick out of that group? Who would you tell people to play?
Well, so the funny thing is I was talking pre-show about, I finally popped my cherry and bought something in Heroes of the Storm. Spend about $30 in Heroes of the Storm. Go figure, right? And I have bought the Diablo pack. So I was like, oh, Diablo pack, yay! I got my Tyrael and my Demon Tyrael going on. And then I'm like, you know what? I want to get a really good assassin class character. So I started trying out the assassins, and lo and behold, I bought Zeratul. So I'm looking forward to Zeratul this week because he's free for me. And everybody else, it seems like.
The funny thing is, of all the assassins, my favorite assassin is still Raynor, and I guess I can only attribute that to the ease of play. I mean, when they chose Raynor to be your starting hero for all the introduction sequences and stuff like that, there's definitely some logic behind it. He's just easy to play. He's a good feel to get into. I'd liken him. It's kind of like how Lily is for support. I'd say Lily is a good beginner support character to play. Raynor's the perfect beginner assassin to play. I don't really know from enough experience yet who the ideal beginner type warrior is to play, but hopefully Arthas is not too bad.
Arthas isn't bad, and neither is Muradin. You'll like both of those characters for warrior classes. They're not really that bad to jump into.
Yeah, what I gotta say is that the character that I would probably be playing most out of all of these for the free ones this week is Muradin. He is, for some reason, the one that I've just kind of totally flocked to. Absolutely love him. He's got a really good move set. For the most part, he seems to have a pretty good survivability. If you don't have 5 of the other heroes on you. And
I don't know where that could have happened.
Yeah, but I did actually. I've bought him. I actually paid real money for him because I enjoyed playing him so much. So I definitely recommend him. But Arthas is a lot of fun as well. I don't know if it's just because I'm starting to fall in love with the warrior class or not, but those two just really seem to click with me.
I have a quick tangent, a question I want to ask you guys just about playing warriors, because this is something that I've noticed is that with all of the classes, your very first initial set of choices tends to be very important. And from what I've seen on the forums, it seems like if you play a warrior, the only talent everyone says you should take is Path of the Warrior. Is that pretty much when you guys play warriors what you do? Because you have 4 choices to choose from if you have hero talents, but I see everyone saying you're dumb if you don't choose Path of the Warrior.
Which one is Path of the Warrior? Because
that's the one where you get extra health hit points per level.
Yeah,
yeah.
Always.
Yep.
See, I always tend to play the assassins or the specialist or the weird classes. I never go right for the warrior class. So I don't think I've ever picked that one on when I have played warrior.
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't know exactly how important it is, but it really seems to me that in like higher levels or like end match competitions, you really want to have that health in there to be able to get in those extra few shots if you've got a lot of people just beating down on you.
Well, and I mean, even taking it a look from the assassin side, because that's what I've been playing a lot recently. But playing Tyrael, I always pick Path of the Warrior. Being able to survive some of those huge hits the assassins take out on you at endgame. You look at someone like Kerrigan, who almost can literally one-shot somebody with some of her abilities towards endgame. You really want that extra health to be able to take that, because otherwise you're just going to be sitting at health timers for a long, or respawn timers for a long, long time.
Sure. I guess kind of my concern about that though is if that does seem to indeed be the case, where that every warrior really should be taking Path of the Warrior as their first pick, otherwise you're doing it wrong, then one could question what is the point of having those 3 other alternatives. That they're almost a distraction or a way to lead you to failure more than anything. It almost kind of reminds me of the whole talent system in old World of Warcraft, where if you didn't choose one talent over the other.
But I think that you're also seeing that you have to imagine this is an alpha. So they're going to encounter those things. Right. And I think what really Blizzard is going to be looking at is, okay, of our warrior classes, what is everybody picking? And if they see that everybody, no matter what, is picking Path of the Warrior, they've got to go down the pathway and go, why? What's going on here to do that?
More health for warriors in the end game. They're just going to put it in there.
Yeah, but well, I think that that's really what's going on. I just think that right now, Warriors are in a spot where Blizzard is not necessarily sure on where they want to go talent-wise with them. And right now they've got one usable talent that is really working. Blizzard will come in and change that. I'm sure they will.
And on top of it, too, I mean, in all honesty, I play, with you guys. I play with my friends, or I'm solo queuing. If I'm solo queuing, I'm definitely going to want more health because I don't exactly trust the rest of my team to back me up.
What do you mean? There's things like AFKers?
Wing's not going to be there when you need her?
Yeah, something like that.
Trust us.
Yeah, so if I'm actually going in there and like really, looking at strategy with everyone else, if there's another warrior on the team, maybe I'll take a different path, and work out my talent so that survivability isn't exactly what I'm looking for, then I could see choosing something else. But at least in the state of the game as it is right now, you'd really think that health is going to be the way that you want to go, just based on how new the game is.
Yeah.
Definitely see that as a mandatory. Okay, we'll move on to our next discussion topic, and that is about AFKers. So if anyone's played the game for any period of time, it's become a thing now. When you log in, you see your daily quest is to play X class or X race or a specialization. People will load that up, sit there at the Nexus entrance, and then just go AFK for a while, and then come back and have completed the quest. While the rest of us who actually played the game are dealing with this 4v5, or actually in one case I actually played a 3v3. Both teams had 2 people AFK. We knew which case.
Well, that worked out.
Game. That actually worked out pretty well. I was like, we should do this all the time. Just pick 4 people to go AFK. But
so you bring up a very valid point there, AcuZod. Maybe something good will come out of these AFKers, which is, hey, maybe Blizzard will implement a 3v3 team. Who knows?
Yeah. Now,
I'd actually like to see this.
Blizzard actually has said, they posted in their support forums. In fact, I'll just go ahead and read it just to make sure I get the wording right. This is from Blizzard Community Manager Rocket. Who spells it R-O-K-C-E-T, I don't know why they transpose those, but Rocket said, "Hey everyone, just to clear up the air, we're working hard day and night to solidify a method of dealing with AFKers. Good news is we know about the worst offenders. Believe you me, all these comments threads are being watched and noted. Good stuff is around the corner. Now, that one line, we know about the worst offenders. That
We
means
know
watching.
who you are.
So
Sorry,
Blizzard is
guys.
clearly going to be working on something. But what do you think their solution is, or should be? What would you do to fix the AFK problem?
Well, first off, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Abathur usually stays at the base. You don't really want him to go anywhere else unless you do magic, wonderful things like I did and become the dragon statue, which was awesome.
You got the dragon statue as Abathur? That is awesome.
Oh yeah,
I missed that.
it was great. I was hanging out in the grass because what was it? Alachaas, you were up top. John was on the bottom. Like we were battling it out. I'm just all like, no one's gonna be able to get there. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm all inch. It was so much fun.
Abathur, like, strolling very slowly to the dragon stand, like
No one
running
expects
from
the
grass
Abathur.
patch.
That was great.
Grass paths going, does anybody see me? Anybody see me? What's
Yeah, I
going
just
on?
started dropping mines all around. I'm all, this is fun, la la la. But yeah, so anyways, amazing that worked. But in all honesty, I really think that getting that AFK thing is going to work great, except so far there's nothing to implement someone coming in mid-match who wasn't in there already.
Right.
So they've got to figure out and balance that in there as well. And then I think that Blizzard needs to look at, okay, are people going to want to jump into a game that's already in progress or just wait out the entire experience? I mean, you have to kind of weigh those different things, especially when daily quests and everything are involved in that.
And speaking of daily quests, one way I feel that they can fix the whole AFK issue is get rid of the warrior daily. Because I tell you now, anytime that I notice that there's an AFKer, it's almost always a warrior class. It's funny. This seems to be the warrior podcast. But it looks like people, those who end up going AFK, it's because they are playing a warrior class, so they must be doing it for the daily, and they just don't want to play a warrior. They want to play an assassin. They want to kill things, or they want to be a specialist and do crazy special stuff. But just based on my experience, which is just one person's experience, but when I see AFKers, they're warriors. So warrior gameplay maybe isn't as interesting or fascinating to some players. I don't know.
Well, I always play a warrior, so crap. But
Blizzard knows who you are, man.
No, I just think that realistically with AFKers, it's gotta. There's so much that they're bringing down. So really, you get an AFK, you're mismanaging XP because now you don't have a player that is out there getting XP. Yes, it's team XP, but there's one additional player that could be killing to gather XP. The other side, now you're doing that.
And then snowballing begins.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I think realistically with it, I don't want to put in a report system because I've seen where that can go just bad. Now, you know what, noob, reporting you. You don't
want to see like a vote to kick or anything like that?
No. Well, I don't know. I mean, a vote to kick as long as you've got all four, I think, is fine. But then I'm not sure there's a perfect system. I really don't think there's a perfect system. I think no matter what happens, we're going to be dealing with AFKers. I think it's just something that if we can minimize it through a system, that's better. But I don't think we'll ever see them go away.
Well, how about I think I heard on a previous episode that you guys said that League of Legends has like a voting feature at the end. Well, yeah. if you notice that someone's actually AFK in the match, how about it's something at the end so it doesn't actually just kick them out right away, so that it's not abused in that sense. So maybe they get like longer queue times or something like that, and I don't know, just.
Yeah, actually, if I remember correctly, the way League of Legends does it, you can mark a player as someone you don't want to play with, and therefore you will never be put in a game with them. So theoretically, the more people that mark somebody as I don't want to play with that person, the longer that person's queue times are going to take trying to find people who are willing to play with them. So that might be a way to handle that.
And you have to wonder what technical limitations they're going to have, though, on that. I mean, this is, if you look at other Blizzard games and software, the WoW block list only goes so many. Even your friends list on Battle.net only goes up to 100. So if you keep that in mind, if they were to implement a feature like this, just how many people could you blacklist from Heroes games?
One goes up to 11.
Al's list goes to 11, of course.
No, so one of the things I saw in the actual forum post that I thought was really cool was Ice Creama actually had an interesting thing. So first AFK, a 5-minute ban from the game. Second AFK, within an hour, 30-minute ban. Third AFK, within an hour banned. Fourth AFK, within 2 hours, a day ban. Fifth AFK, after returning from a day ban, is a week ban. And sixth AFK, after returning from a week ban, it would be a perma ban. I'm not sure the latter part works out so well, but I kind of like the, okay, within 2 hours you've AFK'd 4 times, you're gone for a day.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
week bans and perma bans are too extreme, but the day ban, I could get behind that.
Yeah. I have to admit, I've seen several posts where people have made different suggestions that all involve dropping people out of the alpha at the very least, and I can definitely get behind that because I know there are thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that want in to play this, and I don't think I've seen more than maybe 7,000 was the highest number I'd seen in the chat room list once on one weekend.
I usually see 4 or 5 during peak times.
So I'm sure there are lots of people who would love to get in line to take the place of somebody who's just sitting there AFK. And the part I don't get, the part that blows me away, is they're going AFK to get gold and experience points that are going to get wiped.
That doesn't matter.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so...
Well, let me throw this in there, too, is that if they do add the day ban in there, and, that's the final limit, like Rose said, maybe a week in perm ban. Perm ban, I don't really think so, but if it's a free-to-play game anyway, what's going to stop them from making a new account? So...
True.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. But the ban for a day, that's not really that big a deal if you think about it. You play one game and then you AFK in the next one. You get all your gold, all your XP, and then you're just done for the day.
Yeah, you've done your daily and you move on.
Exactly.
Definitely something challenging.
Here's one thing that you could, if they were able to implement something where if you are AFK, you don't get credit in that game toward any dailies. That would be one way to push it, so that people that are trying to go AFK as a warrior to get credit for a warrior daily, if they had a way to, if someone ended up being flagged AFK or removed from AFK, they don't get daily quest credit. That might be enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Because that'll defeat the purpose of them going AFK. So
Exactly.
I like it. All right,
Yeah,
so
I don't want to remove AFK because it could happen. Things could happen that you need to go.
Cat on fire.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
All right, I think we've spent enough time on AFK.
Yeah, let's move on to the next topic. This one's a pretty quick one. I caught this on the forums. Blizzard announced that the curse that you get from Cursed Hollow when your team collects 3 of the tributes and curses the other team, apparently it's a little bit too strong. And I kind of agree, because I've been on I've been on both sides of that. What do you guys think about that curse? Is it too strong or is it okay?
Well, from our night of playing, where we were permanently on the other side of it, it is way too strong.
Yeah, when if the team gets the full curse and they pretty much wipe you out in just 3 tributes, I think that's a little too powerful. I mean, granted, we're going against people who, in theory, were way better than us, but still, we should have at least had a chance to fight back after just 1 curse.
Yeah, I mean, also reducing the hit points of minions to 1. I was kind of wondering, well, why not just, banish minions outright? But then I realized, well, if you reduce the minions' HP to 1, then it's basically free kills, which means quite a lot of XP that you can farm really quickly. So there is a point to keeping the minions' HP at 1. But yeah, having forts cut by half, I don't think that's necessary. Just the amount of power that the other team's going to gain by getting all of that essentially free XP is going to be huge.
And that's I even think just cutting the minions' health by half, I think is almost the right way to go, because that way you're still farming tons of XP compared to the other team. But now, I mean, when a minion XP is down to 1, you're going to farm so much of it. What did we see? A 4-level difference after the first curse?
Yeah, something like that.
Like I was in a game today where my team got all 3 tributes. We snowballed and won the game before the curse was over.
Mm-hmm.
The first one?
The very first curse.
Wow.
We got the first 3 tributes. First curse hit, we just pushed center and then snowballed and blew the place up. And
wow.
Well, you have to imagine when they got their first curse on us when we played, they got all the way to our last line of defense before the base.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
sadly, that was us.
Yeah.
Just us going, please don't.
But I just
try
really
harder.
I think maybe turning off, sporadically turning off cannons firing, and then reducing minions' health to half would really bring Cursed Hollow back to a more even playing field.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
disabling the cannons is definitely something they should keep. I mean, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll have to see what they do because they're actively looking at it. Next topic I want to bring up was prices for buying the heroes. Not the gold price, but the actual cash price if you're going to pay to buy the heroes. A lot of people are posting that they're just way too high, especially compared to other MOBAs like League of Legends or Dota 2. Have you guys bought? I know Alex mentioned he bought something today. Have either of you two bought anything? And what do you guys think about the prices?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, Ro.
Okay, so I think the reason behind the pricing being too high, and I mean I have no inside information or anything like this whatsoever, but right now League can get away with prices being that low because there are so many different characters that you can choose from, right? I mean, there's I don't keep on top of League a lot, but they have over 100, right?
Yes,
I'd say so.
113. I think 113 as of a couple months ago.
Right. So they have 100. So they have that many. So if you price those anywhere from $2 to $5 each, if you in order to buy all of them, it would cost you a few $100s. In order to acquire, if you had that cost applied to Heroes of the Storm characters, then you could unlock everything with the current roster pretty darn quickly, and then you'd be done. And then there's a bit less reason to continue playing the game. You see, while Blizzard does want to make money, I mean, no doubt about it. When you make a free-to-play game, there's the monetization of it's important. At the same time, if you make it too easy to acquire all of these characters through real money purchases, then people aren't going to necessarily have as much motivation to farm gold to unlock characters or to just continue playing once they have everything unlocked. Then at that point, it becomes a matter not as much of, do I want to unlock this character? It just becomes a matter of, am I having fun playing the game? And for those people that are like us, and if we're getting our butts kicked all the time, but we have all the characters unlocked, we're probably going to be looking elsewhere to have fun. That's my take on it.
Well, and I think you're right there, Ro, and I think really what I would like Blizzard to do here is really pull some. I'd love to see like a Blackheart show up from one of their original games as a character. I'd love to see 2 or 3 more sheets of characters show up, and I think at that point you're going to see a drastic drop in cost of character. I think you're going to see it drop by a good 25 to 50% because there's enough characters there where it's now concept of what's going on. I'd also like this
amount should stay at their current price, though. I mean, that's vanity stuff, and I have no problem with the vanity stuff being the price that it is. But they just access gameplay. I kind of agree with these posters. It should be lower, but I understand why it's not right now.
Well, and I think that I'd like to see more skins as well to soak some of that money out.
We're in alpha.
I know.
No, the problem is the game is so good in alpha, we tend to forget that we're in alpha.
Right.
Yeah. Very
definitely.
True. I mean, I some of the stuff they talk about, I haven't experienced, a lot of it. I've now just cursed myself. Son of a gun.
Yeah, you're never having a solid game for the rest of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The last 2 items I'll merge together, though, I want to talk about this week. Smart casting, which if you guys don't know, maybe listeners don't know, right now when you press a button like Q and you're going to do your Q move, your cursor will light up a little circle on the ground and then you click to cast your Q ability on that spot. Smart casting is where you hit Q and it immediately hits wherever your cursor is, and in a lot of these games they're very competitive. That time difference between not having to move and click where it just fires off immediately is pretty big. Blizzard Community Manager Rock has said is coming, as well as reconnecting to a dropped game. And I like his post. Basically, in the forum, somebody says, "Hey, this sucks. We really wish you could do this." And Rock is just simply, "Yeah, gonna fix that." No details, no wordings. Yeah, we're gonna fix that. We agree. We're gonna fix that.
Smart casting would be so huge. Just playing Brightwing, that one ability Brightwing has that's basically a small AoE spell, although you mostly blink around and heal people and such. But I can't count the number of times that I've played Brightwing, and just that half a second I spend targeting this one space to hit a hero with that, it barely misses them. Where if we had smart casting, I think I'd be landing that ability far more often.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many little thingies I've thrown as Muradin that have totally missed the other character because I'm like, oh, there he is. Oh, just bloop, one step aside, and then that's it.
All right, are you guys looking forward to reconnecting to a disconnected game? I've never actually had that happen myself.
Yeah, neither have I.
Before you guys actually got into it, I had that a couple times, but it's been fixed since that one patch update with all the lag and disconnects and everything. I haven't had a problem since.
All right.
Cool.
Well, that was my list. I had to talk about the news. Before I move on, do you guys have anything going on in the world of Heroes that you want to talk about that I may not have covered?
Muradin's awesome.
Which doctor's better? But it's,
I'm gonna just channel John here for a moment for everybody. Tassadar. Okay, I'm done.
all right. Okay, we'll move on to the next segment we call Resource Spotlight because I can't think of a better name yet, and that's where we highlight some resource out there on the interwebs where you can find out more about Heroes of the Storm, get other people's opinions, other podcasts, things like that. This week, I want to highlight developer or community manager, actually, no, pardon me, he's developer Rock, who is one of the Blizzard people who posts in the Technical Alpha forums. And the one thing that catches me about Rock specifically, and I think is worth following him, is that his answers are either humorous or right to the point. Either he'll say something that's just flat out funny that you wouldn't expect a developer, well, maybe a developer would, but you wouldn't expect someone who's posting publicly on behalf of his company to say, or he comes right out and says, yeah, that sucks, we're going to fix that, which I think is rather awesome. So to find his posts, you go to the Heroes forums, there's a place where you search the forums, and you just search for the name Rock, and he'll come back with all of his replies. So
nothing beats Rock.
The only thing that beats Rock is, well, nothing, I guess.
Paper.
Have you ever? I've thrown a rock at a paper. It goes right through. I don't know what they're talking about there. So. Okay.
You don't have the right paper.
Okay, so we'll move on to Hero Spotlight. Al, who are we spotlighting this week?
We're
Words are hard.
Yes. Words bad. Bad word. Steve must beat. No, so we are spotlighting Brightwing tonight. We're actually going to take a look at Brightwing. We've had an interview in the mix that we wanted to bring in, especially with him, and it is time for our Brightwing interview to come out as we are going to look and see what he's doing. So I've not played Brightwing. I unfortunately did not get high enough in my levels after I got the alpha to get Brightwing. Zod, did you get a chance to play Brightwing?
I got a chance to play him, and I was horrible. I just couldn't wrap my head around him.
Okay.
To me, I wanted to attack, but he was more of a support character.
Okay.
It just didn't quite work for me, but I believe Ro has.
Oh, yes. Brightwing. Now, while I love playing Lily as support, I find that when I'm playing co-op games or practice games, I'm trying to learn how to play Brightwing better as well. I'll also play Brightwing if I'm with friends and such. I won't solo queue as Brightwing because one of the important things about Brightwing, communication is a huge thing. So one of the things that makes Brightwing so unique is that Brightwing doesn't have a mount. Brightwing has this ability called phase shift. And what you do is when you press Z or your mount button, you target one of your other teammates and you teleport to them. And the cooldown on this ability is relatively small. So Brightwing's kind of like Abathur in this way where your position on the map can fluctuate. You can go from top to bottom in a matter of seconds as long as there are other heroes in that area. And that can be very important when, say, you're in Dragonshire and you're pushing to capture both of those flags, and let's say you've got one person you're helping out on top and two people on bottom. To be able to teleport once bottom gets secured, teleport to the top, help them secure that really quick. I just love having that mobility on Brightwing, and also just the fact that Brightwing really encourages staying near other players. So Brightwing heals other players primarily passively by just being near them. There are talents that you can take where if you activate your abilities, it triggers the AoE healing to go off and such. But it's a really different kind of tactical support / healer role. It's really kind of a hybrid. And I just love it. It doesn't have the direct healing burst that you can get with Lily, but if you know how to play Brightwing right, and if you stay in contact with your teammates and say, okay, where are you, who needs help right now, and you get to them, bing, bang, boom, Brightwing can be a blast to play. And yeah, I approve.
Okay. Ben, how about you? Have you?
I played Brightwing a little bit, but when I go for support, I choose Lily. I like the more active, like I push a button and she throws, Healy juice at you. But I will say that Brightwing's a lot of fun. The characterization of Brightwing is just awesome anyway, but Ro really nailed it. If you want a good support that can just really help out and go anywhere, Brightwing is that perfect one for you. But like you said, communication is definitely the key.
Well, and especially looking at Brightwing, so I'm looking right now at the skills Brightwing comes with. So we've got Soothing Mist, which looks like that is kind of his direct heal that I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's basically the AoE heal, and you can choose talents to augment that and trigger when it happens and how strong it happens and all that.
And then you've got Arcane Flare, which is his damage ability. It looks like. And then you've got Polymorph. So you get to change. So it is dealing damage, but you also get to make somebody a sheep of sorts.
And that becomes really important as you get later on in levels. I forget at what level you get this. I want to say 16 thereabouts, but there's a talent you can take that reduces someone's defense while they're polymorphed, and that can be really important when you're trying to focus. If you're in a team battle and you're focusing on someone, polymorph that person, and it's really clear who to pile the damage on.
Yeah, it's your level 6 talent. It's your Critterize. Polymorph target becomes vulnerable and takes 25% more damage.
Yep.
See, that's good to know because in World of Warcraft I play a mage, and if I see something polymorphed, I don't attack it.
Right.
I'm the same way. I have a problem attacking in the polymorph character. Like, oh, leave that one alone.
You got Pixie Dust, which increases movement speed and blocks up to 2 basic hero attacks, reducing the damage. They're damaged by 50%. Then you have your Blink Heal, teleport to target ally, heal them. Emerald Wind is also in there.
I tend to use Emerald Wind more than Blink Heal because I haven't really found myself playing using Blink Heal effectively. But Emerald Wind, the damage from that, and also just the pushback. I mean, as long as you position it right, the only problem with Emerald Wind is that it does have a cast time. It doesn't happen right away, so it can be interrupted. It can be stopped. But if you get Emerald Wind off, it can in a team battle it can really change things.
So it's really a bad thing if you break wind.
Yes.
Okay.
So we've learned that Brightwing's wind is something you want to watch out for.
It's a fierce wind.
Good to know. Good to know.
Such a 12-year-old.
And I think with that, Zod, we're really done with Brightwing now.
Okay, alrighty. So, well, we'll call that has got to be the best way to end the show ever, right there. So we're gonna call that our show for this week.
Yeah, I hear there's gonna be a new skin where he's a chef and he cuts the cheese.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Jesus.
All right, if you'd like to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter at Prepare4Combat, and that's the number 4 because the name was too long to write it out. You can email questions or comments or complaints to podcast at prepareforcombat.net. You can catch previous episodes or follow our news feed or tune into our live show now on our website at prepareforcombat.net, and you can also subscribe to the show on iTunes and Stitcher. All right, Ben, Ro, thank you guys so much for joining us. Where can people find you on the interwebs? Go ahead and start with you, Ben.
You can find me, the best way to do it is actually just follow me on Twitter. I am at AlTheMage. You can find everything I'm doing. I always talk about it and say, hey, go on live, or, stuff like that.
All righty, Ro, how about you?
You can find me at Rowow, which is spelled RHOWOW, and I also do a few other podcasts. The main thing that I do, the solo podcast I do, is called Realm Maintenance. You can find that at realm-maintenance.com. And if you're looking to check out other podcasts about World of Warcraft or any other Blizzard game, including this one, you can find links to all those podcasts over at my site, which is realm-maintenance.com.
Yeah, Realm Maintenance is probably the clearinghouse of podcasts, I think. It's the one you go to if you want to find out what's worth listening to on the web. Alachaas, how do people find you out there?
Well, really what you want to do is get in a car first and drive... No, I'm sorry. So you can find me on Twitter at Alachaas. That's ALACHAAS.
Alrighty, and then myself, I am at AcuZod. So that's our show for this week, and you are now prepared for combat.
Stitch is not people.
Stitch is people?
Stitch is not people.
Stitch is not people.
That is awesome. All right, that'll take us off the air. Thank you, Eludra, Magic, and Tomasak for joining us. We appreciate it. Love you guys so much. We will catch you next week.
Bye.